The following is a production of WEGL 91.1 FM.
That ball is gone. It's a walk-off home run for Stephen Williams.
WEGL Sports,
The Tigers are headed to the College World Series.
where every
Touchdown Auburn! Jacoby McClain!
game
They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow!
lives. And welcome inside the Extra Point here on WEGL 911 and WEGLFM.com. Hello, everybody. It is your always beautiful, gracious, talented, award-winning, stunning host, Jared Dillon. And joining me from wherever they may be is Alex Houston and Davis Carroll. Alex, we'll start with you first. It's Monday morning after the bye week for Auburn. It's getting to the middle of November, so that means crunch time is here. How are you faring right now?
You know, I'm doing pretty good. Auburn managed to beat the bye week this week, so that was pretty exciting. I was a little concerned going in, but we did okay. And, you know, I mean, glad to be back on the show in a regular groove now, Mondays and Wednesdays, at least for the foreseeable future, which should happen. But, you know, all the seasons that were going on right now, NFL and college football really starting to heat up. A lot of big-time games coming up and teams and you know, down to the wire with a lot of competitive races right now, so it'll be very exciting next few weeks.
Davis, you're standing still at the statue. What's going on with you?
I don't know. My mom was just thinking. I can't remember what I was thinking about, but I was thinking.
All right.
That's really it.
Okay.
Got thumbs up Davis on the extra point, doesn't he?
But how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing okay. Still a little tired, but I'm feeling good. My melatonin did not work last night, so I was just kind of laying there.
I don't understand. Like,
What?
if you're always so tired, how do you just not go to sleep? How do you need something to go to sleep?
I don't know, Alex.
It's not that simple, bro.
Yeah, it's
seems
not.
simple enough for me. I just shut my eyes and eventually I'm out of here.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like, eventually it's for like an hour or two for me if I just lay there with my eyes closed.
Time to start counting sheep, bro.
Well, numbers
That doesn't
are hard.
work, bro.
That worked for me.
And they're scary.
Bro,
But-
sheep are not scary.
That's not what I said.
Okay, I was about to say.
I said numbers are scary.
I thought you said sheep are scary.
They might be, depending on, you know. Well, what's the word for being afraid of sheep? I assume there's a cool word that goes with it.
I'll find out.
Google.
Go look it up.
Oh, damn.
But-
Goats are scary. I'll tell you that.
But
I mean, all I'm saying is if 1,000 sheep are running straight at you, I'd be kind of scared.
Ovenophobia.
Ooh, cool.
it sounds like a venophobia. That first part sounded like a lotion brand, so I'm kind of on board with
You mean
it.
like a Veda or whatever?
I don't know.
Okay, but like
I don't
that's
use
scary.
that
That's
many
scary.
lotion brands.
Look at that. That's scary.
Okay, but
If
I'm
I saw
already
that, I might be a venophobic.
look. But I don't live in the country. Or I do live in the country, but that not that kind of country.
Jared, you talk about tilling to your garden, or your farm.
Look, the garden's not existent anymore. Okay, it's too cold. It's too cold out there.
Alex,
the,
you not know about it freezes over, bro.
the crops, the crops,
Okay, you know,
the crops
You know-
are okay, but it's all about the chickens now. all
Alex,
about the
it's
chicken.
called seasons. You gotta. Whoa, you can see Alex's reflection like a million times.
All right, well, you need help. So on today's show, we'll be talking about college football, going over to the NFL, detailing Sunday Night Football, and more. As things are picking up a little bit, especially on the NBA front and on the college basketball front. As we got Auburn basketball schedule, we know that they have a tip-off game. In where does the Gonzaga and St. John's game take place? Is it Fort Myers?
Florida.
Fort Myers, yeah.
They tip off on Thanksgiving Day, 3 o'clock.
Which is, I don't know how I feel about that, because that can set up to be a really good weekend or a really bad weekend.
I mean, their first game is against St. Joe's, and they should win that game. So, I mean, and Gonzaga is, you know, one of the best college basketball programs of the last 20 years. So, I don't know what you mean by if they lose to Gonzaga, it's not like end of the world.
Yeah, but Thanksgiving week and weekend. I mean,
Oh,
there's a lot of things riding on that
okay.
weekend for
You mean
many Auburn teams
you mean Gonzaga beats Auburn and then Auburn goes to Bryant Denny and loses by like 30.
and the Cowboys, but we don't talk about that.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're playing Washington, so they're probably gonna win. But
I don't know, man. It depends. If Garrett Gilbert does his thing, then Washington stands no chance. We'll get to Washington after they added to their quarterback graveyard, but we'll wait until we get to the NFL part for that.
yep.
Let's still stick with college football for right now, and let's talk about the new AP Top 25. There's obviously a movement after Clemson's loss to Notre Dame, which you know I would say not many people saw coming, but at least from our perspective, most of us picked Notre Dame. I never usually give out the breakdown of the pick 'em, but I believe most of us picked Notre Dame. Only a couple picked Clemson. Alabama's the new number one. Notre Dame's number two, and Ohio State is number three. Clemson number four. So those are your top four. The playoffs ended right now. You got a pretty good matchups, I would say. And then you have A&M, Florida, Cincinnati, BYU, Miami, and talk to your kids about top 10 Indiana because there they are at number 10.
What should I tell him, Jared, to
Tell
break the
them
news?
tell them 2020 has delivered a lot of bad things, but of the few good things they came out of, top 10 Indiana football was one of them.
That's true. And also tell them that COVID robbed us of a packed stadium when they beat Michigan, which would have been one of the craziest environments we've seen in the last 10 years because they have beaten Michigan in 24 years up until this past weekend. And that would have been, and again, Indiana doesn't exactly have a large stadium of their own. It's only about 60,000 people, but it would have been quite a spectacle to see that team pull these last couple upsets against Penn State. Well, Penn State may not have even been an upset, but that's a debate for another day, maybe.
So take a look at this because this is an interesting 11 through 20, and it goes in
Yeah.
this order. Oregon, Georgia, who obviously fell way back after taking a big loss to Florida, pretty much ending their SEC championship hopes if things go correctly. Wisconsin, who still is, they should play this weekend, but we're not entirely sure, but they should be good to go. Oklahoma State, and then Coastal Carolina at 15, Marshall at 16, everybody's favorite Iowa State at 17, Oklahoma back from the grave at 18, SMU Death Penalty Mustangs at 19, and USC, everybody's favorite to hate, at 20. But don't look too far because at 21 is Texas because apparently they are back.
Nope.
If you want to know, Auburn's at 24. They did not move, so good thing for Auburn. And Louisiana Lafayette is number 25. The Raging Cajuns are back in the poll.
Good for them. Good for them. Which
So,
their only loss. Who did they lose? Is their only loss to Coastal Carolina?
if that's who they lost to, they should be,
I
yeah.
thought it was the team that they lost to because they. Yeah, well, okay, it was a 3-point loss to Coastal Carolina, but other than that,
Yep.
they've been pretty good. So that makes sense.
That's their only loss. So Auburn obviously will be going on the road to Mississippi State this week. I feel a lot better about that game right now. Usually I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that game. But right now I'm feeling pretty good considering that Mississippi State almost screwed around and allowed Vanderbilt to get back to the game. Granted, Auburn probably would have did the same thing. Don't get me wrong, because that's what Auburn does these days. But it does give me a lot of hope that Mississippi State is eating itself alive after what Mike Leach said in a post-game press conference that didn't sit well with fans. I don't know if you guys heard what he said.
I didn't know what he said. So.
Pretty much, in a nutshell, and I'm paraphrasing, this is not an exact quote, but pretty much they can find a new team if they don't like what's going on.
I mean, that has always been the Mike Leach approach of,
It's his approach, and I'm not gonna knock him down for it, but know that just like when Rome fell and Mississippi State is nowhere near Rome, maybe like the outhouse of Rome, but when Rome fell, they took no prisoners when the peasants stormed the castle. Okay, so just know if And Mississippi State, if they storm the castle, they will spare no prisoner, and they're gonna remember what you said. Just keep that in mind.
I mean, Mike Leach didn't exactly inherit a great situation when he arrived at Mississippi State, but like Joe Moore had in his 2 seasons 8-5 and then 6-7. He lost 2 bowl games, but
Look,
it is a lot worse than they probably should be. And I think part of it, the blame needs to rest on Mike Leach because Mike Leach is like a lot of coaches where no matter what, they're stubborn in believing their own philosophy. Like they're like, okay, I know what's best, even though coaches need to admit sometimes they don't. The
I
issue.
I
What?
don't care that Mississippi State's 2-4. I mean, they going to be good this year, especially playing a SEC only schedule? No,
Yeah.
5-5 would have been good for them. But to keep that in mind, it's how they played. This is the team we're talking about that scored 2 points in the game. They did
They did
that.
score 2 points in the game, didn't they?
They did that. That actually happened for Mississippi State. This is after they put up 40 plus points on the defending national champions, which, yes, we now know LSU kind of bad
Might be
this
one of the
year.
worst teams in the league in
Yeah,
the NCAA.
yeah, LSU kind of bad, but it still doesn't help that you went on the road to Baton Rouge, put up 40 plus on LSU, which no matter how you look at it, they got 5 stars over there. I mean, they may not be playing good, but it's still 5-star athletes balling out each and every week. Something that Mississippi State doesn't have. And it's crazy that they were able to do that over there in Baton Rouge. However, they get to... I can't remember who they lost to when they scored 2 points. I'm trying to pull up the schedule right now.
Kentucky.
But then you go on the road to Kentucky and you scored 2 points.
Yeah, it's a mess.
We're not going to talk about Alabama getting absolutely blanked by them, but you scored 2 points against Kentucky.
You mean them getting blanked by Alabama?
Is that what I said?
I thought you said Alabama getting blanked by them, and I was like,
And
I mean,
you're 14 and a half underdog to Auburn.
yeah. I mean, it's pretty ugly.
I mean, this is a Mississippi State team that is probably not going to win another game this season. But that's neither here nor there. I mean, at least they're not Vanderbilt, who actually may not win another game this season. They got Tennessee, but I don't know how that's going to be looking for Vanderbilt. So, sorry guys, anchor down. But looks like it's a winless season for Mason and
I
crew.
mean, I think it's important for everybody to remember when evaluating this that Mike Leach reached 10 plus wins only twice in his entire coaching career before coming to Mississippi State. And I mean, he was ran out of town at Texas Tech for being, a bit of a hothead and also not treating his players entirely fairly, as we recall. And again, he goes to like his last season in Washington State, they went 6-7 and lost in the Cheez-It Bowl.
Don't bring up the Cheez-It Bowl. That's bad
Like
memories.
he didn't leave at the top of his game at 11-2 the year as he was the year before. He didn't leave after that crazy game day in Pullman where they managed to beat Oregon. He left after they went 6-7 and were very bad. So I think that's something that's important to remember when evaluating this because he is a good coach, but he also is an inconsistent coach. And for every great season he has some moments where you're scratching your head wondering what he's doing. And this is more of that. So,
Well,
yeah.
let's talk quickly about the rest of college football before we go into the Mike Leach rabbit hole. That's gonna end with somebody dressing up as a pirate. Uh, there wasn't really much heading up into the weekend. The only big game I would say was Miami NC State, where NC State did their famous magic trick of we're gonna win and then nothing. As Miami got the big win 44-41 over NC State. There was the BYU versus Boise State game, but that became a dud early as BYU really took the magic of the blue field and then reversed Uno'd it on Boise State.
BYU's a legit team, and they're probably going to finish the season undefeated and make a big bowl game.
So that's kind of the current breakdown between BYU and the rest of the group of five. It's BYU and Cincinnati. I hate it for Liberty and Coastal Carolina because they're good teams. But it just seems like the season's a little bit too short, and there's just to be a little bit more chaos for them to sneak up in there.
Yeah.
And for the most part, I feel as though this season's been relatively tame. Am I correct in saying that? Like, it doesn't seem as crazy as they used to be. Maybe that's because everybody started later, right? So they're just now getting into it.
Well, Jared, I would say part of it is the craziness of the past is from, out of conference stuff as well.
That's fair. That's fair.
You had that Michigan-Oregon game, I remember season opener like 5 years ago. That was a crazy game in itself, one of the more hyped up games that I can remember. I think that was the year that Oregon went to the national championship game. You've got Auburn playing some team at the beginning of the season, right? You've got Alabama playing. And, you don't get upsets there often, but you get something from somewhere, right? And it's a lot less of that. And again, the season is kind of in flux. Teams are just missing players. But it is chaotic. You got BYU, Cincinnati, Liberty, and Coastal Carolina all in the top 25 and all undefeated.
That's fair. That's fair. I don't know.
And 3 of those teams are probably going to finish the year undefeated.
There was Florida, Georgia, which was an exciting game. We saw some exciting moments. We saw a nasty hit. Hopefully Pitts is okay.
That was crazy. I had to call my roommate over and be like, you got to see this. This is one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
That was a dangerous play.
Yeah.
A&M beat South Carolina 48-3. That's kind of buried in the news. Look, we're talking about talk to your kids about top 10 Indiana. Talk to your kids about Texas A&M, who may or may not sneak their way into the playoffs without playing the SEC championship, which is one thing we always talk about each and every year. There's that one SEC team and it's usually Auburn, that can backflip its way into the playoffs without playing the SEC championship game. And it comes down to, that loss to Alabama may actually help because it came to the number 1 team. And, you got to have a good loss these days. And you don't got to play the championship game, which is one extra game to just trip up in.
I really hope they don't make it.
I do. I think it'd be funny.
Would be funny.
What?
I'm rooting for them.
Funny to just have them make it just so they can lose to Alabama by 60.
But it's Kellen Mond, bro.
It's Kellen Mond.
Do you not
believe in Kellen Mond? Kellen Mond was there when Abraham Lincoln gave the Gettysburg Address, okay?
What? Golly, Kellen.
He's been there for a while.
Also, I'm gonna be pulling my hair out when College Game Day is talking about how Kellen Mond's gonna be the difference maker or whatever for the college football playoff. When he's garbage.
To be fair,
he's been playing good, bro.
To be fair, he is the difference maker. If he doesn't play well, Texas A&M has no chance at all.
Yeah, he rarely ever does play well.
Let's see. Let's see what he did against South Carolina. Which
it's
South Carolina, so don't put too much into it. Kellen Mond 16 for 26, 224, 4 touchdowns.
That sounds pretty good.
I want to look at season stats. I know I'm really interested in his season stats.
You said he's rarely good, so this might be a certified cold take from Alex.
It very much is a certified cold take, but it's very much just me getting agitated at the fact that people have been waiting for him to be the best quarterback in college football for 5 years.
Well, yeah, you can be agitated about that, but you can also say
Alex,
he's a good quarterback.
I hate to break it to you, but Kellen Mond's having his best year.
I know.
At A&M.
Alex, apologize to him.
Completing 64% of his passes, has about 1,500 yards, averaging 8.1 yards per throw, 16 TDs, 2 interceptions, a quarterback rating of 158. Those are all career highs right now.
That sounds like a Heisman.
No. Calm down.
I'm kidding. I said that to mess with Alex.
Okay, so I guess I apologize a bit. However, it's important to mention that those games were in fact against Vanderbilt, Florida, one of the worst defenses in the SEC, Mississippi State.
Hey, put some respect on Florida's
South
name.
Carolina, and also Alabama. So
put some respect on Florida's name.
I won't. They have one of the worst defenses in the SEC. That's not.
I feel like that's not true.
That is.
I feel like that's not true at all.
Based
Florida
on,
having one of the worst defenses in the SEC.
I mean, what is one of the worst? Is it in the bottom 7? Is it in the bottom half?
Wait,
Because
You're the one that said it. You determine.
I mean, okay, so
I
I'll
think
say
we also forgot because it was so long ago. Because it was literally a month ago today. A&M beat Florida, so that's kind of
Yep.
cool. I kind of forgot about that part.
which is making this whole thing about Florida beating Georgia even weirder, honestly. But I mean, I would say Florida's in the bottom half of the SEC in defense easily.
Well, they have a stat for that. It's called total defense, and you can look it up.
Well, I mean,
Look
I
it
don't
up.
know.
Alex gonna have another certified cold take, or is he gonna be certified hot
I mean,
take?
I don't know. I've been having some cold takes lately, so it's a possibility.
I mean,
You just
considering
gotta get good, bro. Me and Jared never have cold takes.
the last, yeah, that's true. Name a cold take that I've had.
No, I can't remember.
Name one I've had.
Exactly. Well,
Wait,
Davis.
Jared, didn't you pick Pitt in the extra point pregame show, and then they lost to Notre Dame by like 50 or whatever?
Yes, but
That's
then
not a cold take. That's just a pick.
I won the overall pick'em. So
Yeah.
by a
Jesus,
point on a tiebreaker against
Tiebreaker.
against
Wait.
who? You.
Me.
The question is, does a pick count as a take, or is that just a pick? I think it's just a pick.
It depends how you look at it.
I say it's just a pick. If I said like so and so is this and this, that's a take. Like Alex just said, Kellen Mond's a bum. But
Joe Burrow's a Heisman quarterback.
that was a good take.
That was a
You
good
did say
take
that.
at the end of the day. That was back in August, I said.
All right, let's see. Okay, great. ESPN stats are only offensive stats for Florida. Thank you, ESPN.
There's a defense
Look up-
stat somewhere. Just scroll
Look
around
up SEC
somewhere.
stats, like SEC stats.
This is
But while he's looking for that, the last 4 games for A&M, Tennessee, Ole Miss, LSU, and then Auburn.
Uh-oh.
So
Texas
it-
A&M might win out.
It looks like A&M is gonna
Sweep the board.
they're gonna run this thing, and Auburn's the only thing standing between you and a college football playoff A&M team.
Should Auburn throw the game so Kellen Mond can be in the playoffs and make Alex mad?
Honestly, if Auburn loses that game, I'm not even that mad
I
because
wouldn't be either.
a college football playoff A&M team is like kind of funny to me. It's like
It's like once in a blue moon, bro. You gotta be able to see that in your lifetime.
it's like what would be the comparison of A&M making
I was
the
right.
playoffs? What?
Let's go.
What's the number?
What?
You said you were right. What's the number?
Florida gives up 402 yards per game. That does put them in the back half of the SEC.
Okay, but what there's 14 teams, Alex. Which one?
Correct. What?
There's 14 teams in SEC. Where are they at?
They are, if I'm reading this all correctly,
Probably something like 8th or something like that. Just 400 yards.
They're 9th.
Okay, I was close. Who's last? Is it Vanderbilt?
Last is Ole Miss with 533.
I
Second to
should have
last
knew that
is
actually.
12th is Vanderbilt. 11th South Carolina. 10th Tennessee.
Where's
Now-
Auburn?
It is important to realize that those stats are also bolstered by the fact that Florida has played Vanderbilt, the worst offense in the SEC, so that helps them numbers wise. But again, I mean they have given up a lot of points through every game this year except that one.
Well, I want to look up defensive efficiency. That's a better stat, not total yards.
Is
Yeah,
it?
look that stat. Yeah, defensive efficiency.
Yeah, someone can get as many yards as you want, but if they don't score, it doesn't matter.
I mean, let's see. Florida also gives up only 29 points a game. Not bad.
Hey, don't you disrespect Florida's defense? That's SEC conference game appearance Florida to you. I didn't know the best way to put that.
We came onto this show and talked about how Kyle Trask is going to win the Heisman, but also Florida has one of the worst defenses in the SEC. You said
Okay. I didn't say Kyle Trask Heisman. That was Jacob who said that.
Okay.
I'm not on board with that. I'm not on board with that.
I was talking about the second part. I was just talking about what we dealt with in the show.
We
All right,
all
Jared.
know who's gonna win the Heisman. It's not gonna be a contest.
it?
Trevor Lawrence. That's not crazy. He's gonna win.
With the COVID?
Yeah, he's coming back this week.
I
Yeah.
have a question. Why was he on the field if he was supposed to be quarantining?
I actually have an answer for that. So,
Well, enlighten us.
so he passed all the tests COVID wise, but since there's been links of COVID to cardiovascular problems, he has to pass those tests before he can play football again.
Interesting.
That's
Fair.
why. Because of
Fair.
course everybody was freaking out, sounding the alarms when nobody actually. I was like, okay, this seems odd. I'm gonna do a little Google search, and then that's what it tells you is that they just don't want it because that thing with the Georgia State quarterback at the beginning of the season, wasn't that? He was the one that had the
Yeah,
problems.
yeah.
And since then, they very much do not want to risk it, so everybody has to take those tests. But those tests take longer because they're a lot more of them and probably take a bit longer to get the results. So that's why. Because he
That's
was
fair.
no longer symptomatic, but they didn't want to risk it,
That's fair. I can respect that.
which made sense.
It makes sense. That makes sense. But yeah, no, Trevor Lawrence, no, he'll still easily win, right? Because it's currently right now in Vegas. The current betting odds are tied: Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields. One of them just started playing football a couple weeks ago. The other one's already been playing. He's just been out for the last few games.
I think that. I think Trevor Lawrence Heisman hopes are going to depend on the ACC championship game, which makes sense.
Which he'll play in, and that's when I hate to break it to you, Notre Dame's gonna play Clemson again, and well, I don't know who's gonna win that one. I feel like we know about beating a team in the regular season and meeting them again in the championship game, and it doesn't really end well for that team.
That's true. That's true. I think.
To be fair to Notre Dame, even though they, the people will say, "Oh, Notre Dame, they played a backup quarterback." He didn't play he didn't play like a backup.
Isn't he like a 5-star himself?
He's a 5-star.
Yeah.
And the dude balled out. I will not attempt his last name because I know I will butcher it.
Ukulele.
Did you say the instrument?
No, that's ukulele.
What did you say? I didn't hear a difference.
Ukulele.
I don't know.
That's how it's spelled. I figure that's kind of how it's pronounced. I know it's U and then Lele at the end.
I'm going to call him Lele. So, Lele, he played well, right? And, he threw 3 touchdowns. His efficiency was through the roof. He played like an all-star. And so, Clemson, we know one thing about Clemson. They're set up for the future because he is it. But when Lawrence comes back, I don't know if that's an X-factor difference. Like, if Trevor Lawrence played this past weekend, does Clemson win? Well, that was a Trevor Lawrence-like performance, I feel like. Sure, there was a couple of mistakes here and there, but I don't know if that changes the game any.
I think it's important to mention, we're like, okay, if Trevor Lawrence plays, how does that change the game? Make no mistake about it, Notre Dame didn't even play their best game. There were mistake after mistake after dumb mistake, it seemed like. From the Ian Book fumble at the 2-yard line to every time they got in the red zone, they got to kick a field goal because somebody's dropping a pass in the end zone. Notre Dame itself didn't even play their best game of the season. And
they did not.
They still were able to win.
I got
Davis, how do you say it?
Ukulele.
Ah.
All right, so Lele, good. All right. So, yeah, but Lele played a great game. And hats off to him because the future is bright. And the coolest thing about him is his dad, because his dad is the hypest man that I know.
Yo, I saw that. He knows Rihanna. Who else does he know? Chris Brown.
That's an interesting combination. We won't talk about that.
He saw them both at a zoo, and he took a picture with someone on an alligator. Who was that?
Somebody on an alligator?
Yeah,
Steve
they were like
Irwin?
No, they were like showing it, and it was like people he knows, and he took a picture with some celebrity on like a big fake alligator at a zoo.
Look, all I know is that his dad, he blocked his dad on social media, which I think is pretty funny. Because his dad was just always sharing videos of his son, and he just got tired of it. And he was like, "Dad, you're embarrassing me on social media in front of my friends. I need to block you." And that was it. But Hypest Dad Award goes to his father.
His dad's a bodyguard.
Hey,
maybe that's why he knows everybody.
Maybe he needs to get back to the game so when his son goes to the NFL, he can block for him.
His name's Big Dave.
Big Dave? Oh no. That's gonna be hype. Big Dave. Oh boy. Alright, some other games from this past weekend. Indiana making Jim Harbaugh look like wait, is it Jim or John? Harbaugh look like an idiot.
Yep.
Yeah. For some reason I always get the Harbaughs mixed up, and I don't know why. But yeah, Jim Harbaugh.
John's the good one.
Yeah, that's one way of knowing it.
Jim looks like a complete fool at Michigan right now. They fell out the top 25, and they lost to Indiana 38-21.
Tennessee was
Texas,
worse.
Texas, they escaped West Virginia 17-13. So Texas for right now, they're back.
No, they're not.
Let's see what's some other games that happened.
Penn State.
Okay, so certified Penn State's buns. That's a thing now.
Yeah,
they're bad. They are 0-3. I don't know if anybody noticed.
I saw someone point out that if James Franklin couldn't go undefeated with Saquon Barkley and Trace McSorley, why does anybody expect him to be a good coach with the team he has now? And I'm like, that's a good point. Like,
Trace McSorley is a dog.
What?
Trace McSorley is a dog.
He was very good at Penn State. Like that year they made the Rose Bowl, they still were like 10-2 because of 2 stupid regular season losses that they shouldn't have had.
Is he going to replace Lamar Jackson? Uh-oh.
Wait, I want to show you what Maryland did during the game. This is for all the TV folk, but if you go to their Twitter account, you know what I'm talking about. They had a key race alert. It was John King. It's John King pointing at Pennsylvania and the Maryland flag just over it.
Yo! He's been up for like 24 straight hours or something. He needs some Gatorade.
Yeah, they need to give John King an IV or something.
He went on a lunch break one time, so there's that.
Okay, that's good. Hey, that overtime hours would be pretty good.
Also, how the heck did Northwestern beat Maryland like 43-3?
Because Northwestern's really good, bro.
They scored more points. You asked.
Dave,
That's
you know
true.
exactly what I mean.
That's
I
true.
answered the question.
In the history of football, no team's ever lost a game when they scored more points.
Okay, Troy Aikman.
I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying.
Alex,
That's
you should
true.
watch that video of Tarian Prince telling people how to get rebounds.
I remember that one. He's like, "Well, you have to go up and grab it," and they
they got more balls off the rim than we did. He goes, oh, okay.
But here's one thing to keep in mind from this past weekend.
Stetson Bennett's awful.
Yes,
I've been saying it.
But he beat Auburn. So what do we have to say about that?
Okay, a lot of quarterbacks have beat Auburn. They're not being very good.
Garrett Garantano beat Auburn.
Yeah, what did that say about Auburn?
Mac Jones has not beat Auburn.
Ah.
That's true. Come get that smoke back, Jones. We'll see you on Thanksgiving. What's up? But there was 10 canceled or postponed games this weekend. 10. And it doesn't look like it's getting any better next weekend. One of the things that's kind of in the backbone of college football right now, or in the background, is that COVID cases are going up rapidly. And I have to assume that Notre Dame, after they rushed the field during a pandemic, that team is definitely being tested 24/7, and they are currently in quarantine.
Yeah, Brian
Self-imposed.
Brian Kelly was like, he said in the press conference, he told his team to immediately run for the tunnel because he said, when we win, the students will storm the field, which that was like the plan from the get-go because that's what they did when they beat Florida State in 1988, so it made sense. But, yeah, it's bad.
Super spreader event in Notre Dame.
Name a better combo. But Notre Dame has a weird thing going on where their chancellor or president was
Chancellor? Like Palpatine?
Universities have chancellors, okay? That's not an out there
I thought
thing.
it was deans. I didn't know there was chancellors too. Is there an emperor above him?
Look, maybe. So for Notre Dame, he got COVID. It started out with strict COVID regulations. Make sure you report people breaking protocol. And then he got COVID, and then the students jumped on him. And he was like, hey, bro, I didn't mean it like that. And then now they rushed the field, and now the Notre Dame University, that's weird that I said that. The Notre Dame students got an email yesterday about how they weren't supposed to rush the field and how the school is disappointed in them. There's a whole thing going on at Notre Dame right now.
Okay, so I have a question. So I get them all being on the field at once, like face-to-face is a super spreader event, I guess you could say. But wouldn't stand in the stands also kind of be the same thing anyway? Like side by side, because I mean they weren't distancing.
Here's the thing, Davis. Here's the thing. Them in the stands
makes the university money.
spreading around the virus makes the university money.
So Notre Dame,
Them on the field with the players possibly giving them the virus is costing the university money. There's your difference.
Notre Dame has a monopoly on coronavirus. They can only spread it when it's making them money.
So I mean, I hate to say it, but if you're in the stands and you get COVID, guess what? Screw you. We got our money. But if you're on the field, if you give one of our players money after we're now number 2 in the nation, we're trying to win a national championship. Screw you. We're about to kick you out of school, and we still got the money because you ain't get that tuition back. If you want the honest, if you want the honest to God truth, there it is.
Chancellor Notre Dame.
Chancellor Palpatine.
Chancellor Dame.
I don't know any Star Wars references, so I'm just gonna assume that Palpatine. I'm gonna just assume that Palpatine is the Chancellor of Notre Dame.
Palpatine is the Chancellor first, and then he has a plot to become Emperor, and he does.
Well, thanks for ruining it for me. I was gonna watch it eventually.
Emperor Palpatine's his name.
Wow, Davis.
Wow, sorry that he's never heard of Emperor Palpatine before.
Hey.
The originals came out for the prequels anyway.
Notre Dame does have a chancellor.
Cool.
I guess.
Does Auburn have a chancellor?
No.
I guess. I typed in Notre Dame chancellor, and the president came up. So I think he's also, because remember this is a Catholic school, so things are different. It's a little bit different. But
we didn't have a chancellor at McGill. We had a principal, Jared.
Okay, that's a high school. That's just different. And isn't McGill also public?
No, we're private.
Isn't McGill private?
Mm-hmm.
I just assumed it was public.
You can't have religious schools be public, I thought.
Oh, look, we're in the South, okay? Things kind of changed down here. Ain't supposed to be messing around with your sister either, but they still do it, you know what I'm saying? What?
Say that just the way you said that.
It's true.
I cannot believe you just said that.
Oh, we've said a lot worse things in this show before.
Alex, talking about you.
Flashback to the civil rights comment from March.
What?
What?
You don't remember that? I made the joke, so it's okay, because I can make that joke. It's true.
Oh my god.
We were talking about. I have the clip on my computer actually, but I'm too lazy to pull it up for you right now. But it's pretty much when COVID hit, and we were talking about how Alabama putting in protocols for like mask mandates and stuff like that, social distancing and everything like that. And we were like, oh yeah, Alabama. I don't know who said it, but like Alabama, they'll probably be pretty quick about it. And then I made the comment that it took Alabama 7 years to remember the Civil Rights Act.
I remember that.
So they're not going to be that quick about it. And there you go. There's some history for you.
And Alabama wasn't quick, Jared, so that was a hot take.
So
I mean, they tried. The people didn't listen.
I mean, that's kind of the story now.
For most of the southern states, yeah.
So I mean, me and Davis were at Jack's place when we saw the party that was about 10 feet away from us. That was a super spreader event.
That might have just been that was a super spreader event.
That was a lot of people. We had to stay away from that.
Yeah.
Back to college football. I don't know where we went with that. Back to college football.
Thank God.
See, Alex, this is why you need to show up.
What?
Yeah.
You're the clown, and I'm the old man from...
No, I'm not. I just like talking about sports.
There's more to life than sports, Alex.
There is.
But just so you know, this week in college football, there is no ranked versus ranked matchups.
Ooh.
So, I talked about there has not been a lot of craziness. Maybe this week is the week. Maybe.
Throws for 700 yards and beats Auburn.
Look at this. Georgia's on the road, A&M's on the road, Auburn's on the road, Alabama's on the road, Miami, Indiana, Coastal Carolina, Notre Dame, Ohio State, USC, Oregon, SMU, Wisconsin, Northwestern are all on the road. I'm just saying.
Chaos.
Things can get crazy. It is November. So.
You know what's crazy to me is, like, there's been some bad games in the past, but this may be the most lopsided LSU-Bama game in recent memory this year.
What's the current spread right now? Is it in the 20s?
It should be. I mean, LSU's so bad.
Hold up, I got it. 24.5.
Woo! My goodness.
24.5.
Lord have mercy. That's insane.
Alabama may actually kill LSU. That may actually be a thing.
They may. I mean, look. All I'm saying is they could win 59-0. I wouldn't be that surprised. Legitimately.
Honestly, if anybody picks LSU and pick them and they get it right for whatever crazy reason that happens, I will give them 5 extra games. Like,
Uh-oh.
I'd
Maybe
do
try to
it.
pick LSU and risk it.
Hey, you risk it, man. It's
What do we get if what happens if we get number 1 and pick them?
nothing.
Oh.
I'm going for the Triple Crown after I won the MLB Gauntlet. But I have to keep my lead in pick'em standings, which evaporated overnight. And we somehow have to catch up to Bay, who has a 6-game lead on Davis, who's second place. And I don't know. I think Bay's from the future because he can pick games really well in the NFL. I don't know how he does it. He's 90-39. That's good.
Wait, what am I?
Yeah.
On
80
84.
84 and 45.
That's not bad.
Me and Alex are 83 and 46.
I need to catch up to Bay somehow.
I don't think anybody's going to. I mean,
I will. I will go perfect this
The
week.
only movement
I
really
will go perfect.
The only movement nobody's ever gone perfect in extra point history
Well,
in NFL
I'm
pick'em.
about to. There's a first time for everything, Jared.
3 people went perfect in college football pick'em before. Only 3 in the 5-year history, but nobody's ever gotten NFL correctly
if I
right.
picked Florida, I could have done that. Dang it.
Well, you've already done it once.
Oh yeah. Oops.
Yeah, me twice.
And he's
Bay
still in
and
the
you.
second.
He's
Yeah,
taught.
Davis, because I've been, never mind.
No,
Because, why not?
Davis.
Make an excuse.
Davis, I hate to break it to you. Hold up. He's tied for first with me and you now.
Oh,
Tied for
No.
first. Alex, we're all tied for first, so you don't have any lead on me, brother.
yeah, but you also just said I was in second behind you.
Us 3 are tied for first. Jacob and Bay are tied in second, 1 game behind. There's a 5-way just log jam at the top. We're looking like the reverse NFC East right now.
Ooh.
So,
Man, rip to Jacob in the NFL picking though.
yeah, Jacob's not doing. I mean, he is 15 games behind Bay.
Yeah, we should probably. Jacob's not allowed to talk NFL anymore.
And he blew the lead in the Gauntlet pick'em. So he went from first to 5th in the Gauntlet pick'em. I mean, yours truly won because obviously.
Those prop bets, man. Those prop bets freaking sent you.
Yeah, it's true. That's the high risk, high reward prop bets. You guys just gotta know your baseball like me, Obviously,
Jared, this is our first year being fans. You got to give us a little.
obviously,
bit.
I'm a baseball guru. Okay, I played baseball for 1 year when I was 12, and then since then, I rarely watch baseball. I got the Rays and the Marlins mixed up, but apparently that's enough to be an expert.
Who
Who
doesn't
knew?
get the Rays and the Marlins mixed up every once in a while?
Is there anything else about college football that we need to discuss?
I don't think so.
I just want to have one. I also ask one brief question, then we can dip from this subject. Is Kirby Smart? I don't know what the right word is to describe it, but because I'm not going to say he's one of the worst. He's not a really awful coach, but I feel like the way he's handled Georgia's quarterback situation is so terrible. And I just like he has Justin Fields, and he's like, nope, Jake Fromm is the answer. And now he says JT Daniels has not played enough, which is why he won't play him. But I'm like, huh? Because that didn't make any sense.
Well, let's be honest. Georgia has fumbled the bag.
Yeah.
Their quarterback situation is not great, and I mean they are. I don't want to say they're Auburn because, yeah, but I mean they are literally one piece away. They're literally one piece away from.
Davis, what did you text Jared?
You don't want to know. they are one piece away.
I want to know. What was it?
No, you don't. They are one piece away.
Davis, just text it to me, man.
No.
No.
Oh.
They are one piece away from being a national champion, right? Contender. And it's the biggest piece, and they just have not figured it out. And they had good quarterback. Jake Fromm, great quarterback. No, I'm not going to take anything away from him. Justin Fields, great quarterback. We obviously see that right now. The quarterback situation right now ain't great. They got to figure out something quick.
Yeah, Georgia's hyping up their locker room to be like full of Heismans. I saw like Barstool Auburn tweet that. Like they were like, yeah, we have the best quarterback room, and now they're complaining that they don't have any quarterbacks because they all suck.
So,
I mean, it really it's just been handled so badly.
yeah.
Like Justin Fields was clearly the answer the first time, and now JT Daniels just isn't playing for no reason. I don't get it.
I mean,
There's
join
no way
the party. Nobody else gets it either.
Were y'all watching it when they were like, "Oh, Dwayne Mathis is warming up," and then he threw it and it hit like some
Yes,
water boy
yes.
square in the face, and I was like, "Oh my god."
That was a sign of things to come for Georgia. We knew that.
Yeah. But anyway, I just want to talk about that for a second. But
Is there any other questions that people want to throw out hypothetically in college football?
I'm good.
Davis, what did you text Jarrett?
You don't want to know.
Don't worry about it, bro. Golly.
But that does it for college football.
It's a private correspondence.
We'll revisit on Wednesday when we break down the weekend's games, especially Auburn, Mississippi State, and make our picks. And hopefully things will go a lot smoother there for college football. On to first let's look at some top headlines for today. Trying to see anything. Oh, let's go ahead and get this out of the way. Chase Elliott is your NASCAR Cup Series champion.
Woo!
Yeah. All right.
First time I've ever heard that name before.
I actually
All
have.
right. I mean, I know about him, but
I mean, I know of him. You know, like
I know of him.
I know
other than
Earnhardt
that-
and Earnhardt Jr.
Hey, do it for Dale.
and Bubba Wallace.
Wow.
That's all I know.
That's kind of disappointing, honestly.
Alex, I just don't like NASCAR.
I mean, yeah, but never mind.
So here's a couple of things. Red Sox hired Alex Cora.
Ooh.
Right? So that's a thing. Can't wait for the Red Sox to get booed this next season.
Yep.
There's gonna be no punishment for Justin Turner as he apologized.
We're in the NFL. Oh wait, you're doing other sports stuff. My bad.
Yeah, I'm doing Major League Baseball right now.
Great, sorry.
The Yanks are moving their affiliates from Trenton and Staten Island. They're moving their minor league affiliates out of Staten Island and Trenton, New Jersey. And in 2021, as part of our organization, as a reorganization that is affecting teams across the majors. I do know that Major League Baseball did tell teams, hey, we need to shapen up minor league. So a lot of teams are getting moved around or getting axed, which is kind of sad, but I do know they're doing that. But Double A Trenton will move to Somerset County, New Jersey. Triple A Scranton will remain the New York's top affiliate. I don't understand what's going on here. The Tampa Bay affiliate that's been High A Florida State League will shift to Low A. Baseball minor league is confusing. I need a map. But Montgomery Biscuits, am I right? Go Biscuits.
Oh my gosh.
And also, finally, the Nats will invite President-elect Biden to toss the first pitch to what I believe is going to be the opening game of the season. I don't know. That's your MLB news.
Are they doing a normal start for the season?
No, we know what baseball is doing. They're going to argue about it for 3 months and then do whatever they're going to do.
That's true. Manfred's gonna say one thing, do another, and then be like, yeah, it's a. And then he's gonna be like, you know what, Astro's getting no punishment. He's gonna randomly suspend another team, something like that. Call the trophy hunk of metal again. I don't.
Do keep in mind, now that we're moving on to NBA top headlines, the NBA draft is soon, November 18th. Ooh. So stay tuned for that as we see what's happening. But there's not much, actually. I'm not gonna lie. There's not much.
LeBron's not happy about the quick restart.
Yeah, NBA is gonna start back on what seems to be December 22nd. The Pistons are interested in LaMelo, So they're trying to move up in the draft. Bad boy Pistons are moving up in the draft, so watch out. And I believe the Nets and the Sixers are fighting to have one of the most organized coaching staffs in like basketball. After all these former players are just jumping on these coaching staffs.
Who jumped on the Sixers?
Uh, let me pull it up real quick. There's been some movements. There's been some movements.
I know about the Nets. They got Mike D'Antoni and Amari Stoudemire. I'm sure Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving are gonna come in there and be player coaches as well for the team.
Let's see. Obviously, Morey is over at the Sixers. Um,
Oh yeah. I thought he was the GM, right?
he's the president, I guess.
Oh, basketball operations.
Yeah, he was named team president a week ago. They extended Brand. I believe it's the Nets coaching staff. Let me see if I can get this down.
We signed some of the worst contracts in league history, and they gave him an extension. That's crazy.
I'm trying to see if I can get the Brooklyn Nets coaching staff. Obviously, D'Antoni is over there. Steve Nash is the head coach. Amari Stoudemire is over at the Nets on the coaching staff. Let's see. I want to get their actual names. Splitter is there. Tiago Splitter.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, they got the finals wrapped up then.
Look, all I'm saying is there's a lot of former players over at the Nets right now trying to put together that ragtag team of individuals. It's gonna be like the Sandlot but basketball.
Like 2K, when your player retires, you're just like, hey,
It's true. Dirk was always my head coach. Well, Dirk was always my assistant coach, and then Carl was always like, I'm a bounce, and then
Dirk would always show
Dirk
up. I could hire him. He'd be like, hey, you want to be my coach? And he was a sucky coach, actually.
Oh,
That's tough.
that is tough.
I mean, like, he wasn't as good as, like, random A-plus guy that nobody ever signed.
Yeah, that's fair. You know, now we talk about 2K. I just want to mention something. I woke up before.
Did you lose to me?
Okay, first of all, you lie to me again like that, you're fired. But second, nothing, Alex. But second, I woke up at 4 a.m. today, and I was playing Madden. I was doing the QB1 franchise thing, and I was drafted by the Dolphins, which sucks, but it's whatever. Fins up. And we started 0-4, and then I called out the defense. I said, y'all trash, bro. And they started playing good again. And then we went on a run. We finished 10-6. We went on a 10-2 run. Got to the playoffs. Met the Ravens in the division in the wild card round. So you know what that meant. We won. And then we faced the 15-1 Chiefs in the divisional round.
Wow.
And on the first play of the game, Chiefs ran for a 75-yard touchdown. And I was like, okay, well, this is not going to end well. We battled back. We tied the game up. At 25, weirdly. And then it got tied at 32. I drove down the field. I tied it at 32 with 4 minutes to go in the game. I'm like, good drive. You know what happened the next play? Next play, 75-yard run for a touchdown again. And then I tried to drive down the field again. I was frustrated. I threw a pick six. Now it's pretty much the end of the season. So.
Can't ever get frustrated in the EA football games, Jared, because that's when you make the real mistakes.
I did. I felt the blitz. I threw it, and the moment I threw it, I was like, "That's a pick six." The pick six.
Oh my.
And I lost to the 15-1 Chiefs that eventually lost to the 49ers in Super Bowl 28-24.
Well, that's not accurate.
Which sounds familiar. So I do want to point out now that this is a great segue into the NFL. It's not great for Davis, so plug your ears. Christian McCaffrey may miss some more time after he injured his shoulder in the game yesterday against the Chiefs.
Mike Davis!
According to Ian Rappaport of wherever he works for these days.
Big words there, might, Alex.
Well, if he does, that's points for me. So
wait, here's the quotations. Panthers running back stats for Week 10 is very much in doubt.
Yeah.
Is the word they used.
I got the same exact alert.
So you hate to see it for CMC, but hey, at least the Panthers tried their hardest. That's all that matters.
Good. He got me 37 points yesterday in fantasy too.
They played their hardest. So let's go
They
ahead
played
and
good.
let's go ahead and break down the NFL.
ugh,
Well,
sadness.
kind of depends on where you want to start. Obviously, there's the Packers 49ers game, which I don't think we need to talk about. Packers won. 49ers are hurt.
Packers are good.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's start from the top. We don't got to talk about the Colts. That's neither here nor there. Okay, we do got to talk about one thing.
Let's talk about that sucky tackle from Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, we got to talk about Phillip Rivers being tackled by the ghost of Christmas past and falling down for no apparent reason. But he tried. He tried. Falcons beating the Broncos. The Falcons are back, boys. I'm just saying.
Falcons should be like 6.
They almost still blew their lead. So
That was crazy, actually.
The Falcons are back. They're rising from the dead, and don't look now.
yeah,
but
ever since they got rid of Dan Quinn.
Yeah, Dan Quinn, count your days because they were coming for you.
He already has counted his days. He's jobless.
I'm just saying, it's a meme, okay, from a little bit while ago.
If he had to think
Somebody
it's like
saying those
days since
words.
being fired, days since blowing a lead.
The Bills came out and dismantled the Seahawks offensively. Josh Allen playing the game of his life because of what we learned later, right, about his grandmother. And he went 31 for 38, 415, 3 touchdowns. Josh Allen played like we about to win the Super Bowl. The Bills are 7-2. Don't blink. My AFC Championship game participants looking pretty good right now. So thank you for that. Thank you. Titans. They beat the Bears. The Bears. Cool fact about the Bears. Ever since Nick Foles has been starting quarterback, they've not scored more than 22 points.
Uh-oh.
So, not great.
That's the thing is, like, Trubisky was winning and they still benched him, which was kind of weird.
The Chiefs beat the Panthers 33-31. Tough going for Carolina crew. The Vikings. Oh no, it's a winning streak. Kirk Cousins is feeling it. 34-20 over the Matthew Stafford-less Lions.
Hey, Davis. Just a quick question. What was up with that Panthers time management at the end of the game, my guy?
I didn't see. I don't know.
You didn't watch the game?
No, I did. I just didn't see that part.
Oh. Not going to lie to you.
But I know about it. I can't explain it to you. I'm not Matt Rule. I'm not Joe Brady. Teddy was just throwing some checkdowns.
Yeah.
Hey, Teddy put his body on the line for the Panthers.
He did. You see that flip he did?
He put his body on the line. It's
Yeah,
just
Alex. He did. He's all in on the Panthers, man. Quarterback of the future.
I wasn't questioning. What? Davis, that's like you saying, oh, Haskins got. Well, hey, he doesn't matter. He's all in. He's willing to put his body. Like
No. The difference there is Haskins is a bum.
But he's all in.
But he's probably going to start this next week because your other two quarterbacks are also bums.
He's not starting next week. He's already.
Alex Smith threw 3 interceptions. Kyle Allen has dislocated his ankle. I wouldn't be surprised if there
so.
was a
Speaking of the next game, I was going to bring up Giants 23-20 win over Washington. They've added another quarterback to the graveyard. Kyle Allen, my thoughts are with you.
Dwayne Haskins is coming back, boys.
Davis, he's not starting next week.
Okay.
I know he's not starting next week because they already announced who the starter is next week.
Alex Smith.
Is it Kyle Allen?
No.
Oh.
Kyle Allen broke his ankle in the same spot that Alex Smith broke his leg 2 years ago, nearly the same spot. Daniel Jones has only won 5 games in his career, and
What do you
4
bring
of
up
them
Daniel
were
Jones
against
for?
Washington.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, yeah. He's 4-0 against y'all. He's 1-17 against everyone else.
Daniel
Yeah,
Jones. Daniel Jones is to Washington what Eli Manning was to Tom Brady.
Bro, Daniel Jones is the bane of your existence, bro. Maybe he is
That's
better than Dwayne Haskins.
that's tough.
He's 4-0 against y'all, bro.
That's tough.
Dwayne Haskins is not undefeated against
Imagine your kryptonite being Daniel Jones.
Davis, technically he is undefeated against some people.
anyone. Yeah, technically, because he's played like one game.
He beat the
Yeah.
Buccaneers. That's
4-0
his fifth
against
win.
y'all. 4-0. They either mean he's really good or y'all are bums.
Look.
Shocker, Washington is bums, except for like 3 players.
And 3 of those players want trades anyways.
That's also not true, but sure. Go ahead, Davis.
Ryan
Tex-
Kerrigan wants a trade.
Brian Kerrigan does not want to trade, but sure.
The Texans beat the Jaguars 27-25. And one of the most shocking things that I didn't realize until it happened, they benched Gardner Minshew, I guess.
No, he's hurt.
He's hurt? Okay, I didn't know what was going on. I was like, who is this Lupton dude and why should I care about this T brand quarterback?
Yeah. He ruptured, I think he tore a ligament in his hand and then proceeded to try and hide it. And then they're like, oh, bro, that's not good.
Okay, Alex, but you say Ryan Kerrigan requested a trade like last week.
And then there was a report that came out specifically that said he did not request a trade. So,
All right,
I'm
then
leaning
who's
more to-
lying? Who's lying?
I would say the people that leaked it.
I don't see any sources saying that's not true. I only see people saying they requested
Let's
it.
see. Davis, one simple Google search. Me. This is tough. It's tough to say.
I'm looking it up right now, boy.
The
Plus,
Raiders escaped LA with a win, 31-26. Herbert is the best quarterback of a team that doesn't know how to win football games. Fair enough.
Chargers, man. The poor, innocent little Chargers. I mean, they're like. Was that another lead that they blew, or were they never in the lead and they just lost?
Well, I mean, technically it was ruled a touchdown and they took the lead, or they at least tied it, and then it was taken away from them. So is that considered blowing it?
Well, they were up 17-14 and a half. That's a small lead, but hey, still.
Oh no, they scored a touchdown. They went up 32-31. They took it back. So is that considered blowing the lead?
I don't know.
They put the score on the scoreboard. Okay, so they were in the lead.
But Jared, I was saying they were already in the lead earlier in the game anyway. So it's
And 3 points isn't really a lead. That's not blowing a lead if you're only up 3 points, you know? At
Niners being up by 1.
Hey, but that's at the end of the game. That's different. Being up 3 at halftime and being up 1 with no time on the clock is a lot different. The other one's usually a win. The Steelers, they got out of Dallas with a 24-19 win. The Steelers, for the first time in their franchise history, are 8-0, which, cool stat, I guess, for the Steelers. You would have thought a team with a rich history as them would have been 8-0 at some point, but apparently they have not been. So, Steelers 8-0, still the only undefeated team left. In the battle of the mobile quarterbacks, Tua prevailed over Kyler Murray, 34-31. Don't blink. The Dolphins are 5-3 and second in their division. And finally, Sunday Night Football. Yes,
I
Davis.
just want to say,
did you find it?
don't sleep on the. Well, yeah, no. I found literally no sources saying that he didn't. I looked up. He didn't request a trade. Did request a trade, and every single source said that he did.
Well, I saw ones that said he didn't because, and not to mention him requesting a trade doesn't even make much sense at all. But
I mean, if he wants to leave, that makes sense, right?
no, because
I mean, I'm sure that he might not have, but there's no. I didn't find any source that said
no,
he
Jared,
did.
I'm saying obviously if he wants to leave, it would make sense to request a trade. That's stupid if I said otherwise. But what I'm saying is him requesting a trade makes no sense because this offseason he said he definitely wanted to stay here for the rest of his career. He has stuck around this long anyway. And now he's getting paid a lot of money to play a little bit and still get sacks. He still already has 5.
It wouldn't be the first time someone said they wanted to stay there for the whole career and then moved on a team.
Yeah, but I mean, he's never been that type of player anyway. So
You could say that with some other players that said that as well.
like
LeBron.
Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just saying.
different players in 2 very different situations, but
I mean, fair, but.
But there's other players that say, like, Giannis might leave. He said he'd never leave.
But yeah, again,
Giannis to the Mavs.
No.
Yeah.
He's going to the Heat if he's leaving.
No, he's going to the Warriors, I told you.
And the Saints dismantled the Buccaneers 38-3 on Sunday Night Football in front of everybody and their parents and their families and in front of the police who did not arrest anybody after that game.
But I do want to say that don't sleep on the Dolphins. That's what I want to say a minute ago.
That's fair. Don't sleep on the
They're good.
Dolphins.
They're good.
Brian Flores, Coach of the Year?
Yes, I'd be cool with that.
I mean,
Nobody thought this team was good. Excuse me. Nobody thought this team was going to be good, and now they have 5 wins.
I mean, look at the rest of their schedule right here. They're playing the Chargers, Broncos, Jets, and Bengals over the next 4 games. We could be talking about a 9-3 Miami Dolphins team in 4 weeks.
I mean, it's between him and Mike Tomlin, I think, are the only.
That's future NFL Hall of Famer Omar Epps to you.
What?
Oh, my God.
Come on, Alex.
It says he looks like Omar Epps, the actor, is what he's saying.
Which
I know, but like
it's accurate. But wait, that he looks like Omar Epps, or that he's the Hall of Fame coach?
that he looks like Omar Epps. Obviously, he's a Hall of Fame coach.
Do you not know who Omar Epps is?
Yes, I do, and I don't recall him looking like. Wait,
He kind of does, bro.
wait a minute. Let me get
That's been a thing for that's been a thing for like 10 years.
I do not think he looks that much like him, but I
Omar
guess
Epps was in house, bro.
I know
Yes.
he was
If you look up Omar Epps in House, like take any photo of him from House, he looks like Mike Tomlin.
All right,
that has been a joke for like almost 10
side-by-side
years.
photos.
Look, they're the same person. I'm
don't-
convinced.
Okay, that.
Yes, they are.
They look like if you look up, it says related. Like if you look up Omar Epps and Mike Tomlin, one of the requests is like related. Like they look like they could be brothers.
They easily could be brothers or cousins. Easily cousins. We can debate brothers, but easily cousins.
There's this one site. Oh my God, that is. I was about to say there's one site that has just 2 pictures of Omar Epps, but one of them is Mike Tomlin.
Let's see it. Let us see it.
I was like, that's no way that's Mike Tomlin on.
No, those are both Omar Epps, Davis.
No, they're not, bro.
Yes, they are. You're so stupid.
Oh, it did. It got me.
See, you don't know. That's the crazy part.
I looked at it. I was like, that's Omar Epps both times. I was like, wait a second. Is that actually? Okay, but they do look alike.
They look alike.
Those are both clearly photos of the same person.
That's not though, and I mean they still look alike, brother.
Okay.
If Mike Tomlin got a haircut in that
do.
photo,
I did look them up, and I mean they look somewhat similar. But
Alex, don't let this be the hill you die on. Don't do it.
I've died in a bunch of stupid hills this year already.
This one's probably one of the dumbest because like me and Jared are in agreement that they look alike, and
Look,
you're just.
it is relatively accepted in the. I'm gonna say it. It's relatively accepted in the black community that they look alike. I'm gonna just say it. I didn't know any other way to put it. All right, but it is accepted that they are the same person, that they sometimes switch places because they get bored.
Yeah, if there's ever a movie about Mike Tomlin, Omar Epps needs to play him.
It's like Freaky Friday Part 2, but it's different.
There was a miss. No, yeah, I mean, all right.
So, back to what I was saying. Future Hall of Famer Mike Tomlin.
I mean, he might win Coach of the Year if they go like 13-3. So.
I mean, it's between those two, and then I guess you can throw McDermott in there.
Yeah,
he's done really well.
That one is easy, but that one's is not as not as much of a eye catcher because again the Bills were already good.
Yeah,
better.
Here, Alex. Here's like a meme from like 2010 saying I'm not Omar Epps with Mike Tomlin. It's accepted, brother.
It's accepted.
It is facts. Okay, all right. I apologize.
It had the bottom text, bro.
Look, I apologize. I apologize for contradicting both of you. Clearly, I'm not allowed to do that. Sorry.
Oh my gosh, Alex is trying to make it about a. Oh my.
No, that was.
I'm not allowed to contradict you because this is a dictatorship now. I can't have a difference of opinion. Such a sound like.
Joke, Davis. That was
that was weird, but okay, I'll let it ride.
What was I gonna? Oh, did you guys see that? Mike Tomlin. This is his 14th straight winning season, which is tied for the most ever by a head coach.
Future NFL Hall of Famer Mike Tomlin.
The GOAT?
No, but the best part about it to me is that the other guy who has that record tied with him is Marty Schottenheimer.
Don't bring that name up.
He's a good coach, but like that's just crazy to me. Like not Belichick, not
And
not.
Belichick's not getting that streak extended this year.
No, he's not. But actually, wait a minute. Maybe it was 14 to start a career or something. Because
Well,
Belichick
no,
has.
Belichick had that season where Tom Brady got hurt and Matt Castle started.
They still
But
went 10-6.
they
Oh,
still
he
went 10
did.
and
He
6.
did. He did.
Maybe it was.
I
Maybe
thought
it
they
was,
went lower than that.
I'm gonna look and see if it was to start a season because. Oh yeah, to
But
begin his career. That makes sense. Okay, yeah. 'Cause I was
but
gonna say Belichick had 20.
Mike Tomlin, he's what, 55? He's not even that old.
No, he's not. Let me see his age.
This man
But
easily says 20 years ahead of him.
Tomlin, it was very interesting because he starts out his
He's
career.
48.
Jesus.
How old is he?
He's 48.
Oh my! What in the world? He's gonna be coaching for 22 more years.
Well, to be fair, the Steelers haven't fired a head coach since what? The 70s, 80s?
He's been coaching since 95. He's been coaching since he was 23.
Since I was born.
And he took over the job in 2007, which I remember. I'm gonna Google Steelers head coach thing and see what happens. But
The Steelers are not fired a head coach since like the 70s or 80s, which is I believe the longest streak in NFL history because they always find good coaches.
like, all right, let's see. What's the head coaches we got? All right, yeah, you're right because they haven't fired actually since the 60s because they had Chuck Noll, who is the 4-time Super Bowl winning head coach and one of the greatest head coaches to ever walk the planet. Invented the steel curtain. You got Bill Cowher after the fact, who retired with Jerome Bettis at the top of his game, winning the Super Bowl, I think. And then you've got Mike Tomlin there as well. And I mean,
When you talk about dynasties, the Steelers coaching dynasty is it.
it's crazy because or actually no, Cowher retired the year after the Super Bowl. That's my mistake, not at the top. But it's crazy because. Like when Tomlin's career first started with the Steelers, everyone's like, "Oh, he just inherited a great situation because he took over a team that
They thought it would be like a Tony Dungy, John
Yeah.
Gruden thing, and it
exactly."
wasn't.
And it was that for like maybe a minute, but then I mean,
Tony Dungy has 2 Super Bowls, and you can't tell me any other way.
What?
Tony Dungy has 2 Super Bowls, and you can't tell me any other way.
Well, okay, you can say that, but also let's not forget
no,
Tony
no.
Dungy did lose to the Eagles in bad fashion over and over and over again. He had bad beats in the playoffs.
Look,
As good of a coach as he was, he consistently made mistakes in the playoffs until he beat one of the worst Super Bowl teams that I've seen with the Bears. So
I just wanted to point out that Mike Tomlin's been coaching in the NFL since 1999. He was 20. Oh, wait, no. 2001.
that's
So
2
he's been-
years.
Well, still, he's been coaching since he was like 29
That's
in
good.
the NFL. That's
as
crazy.
far as I can tell, I don't think he didn't even play in. He didn't even play in professional football. He just went straight out of college coaching.
He got the brains.
He started
So-
he started at VMI, wherever that is.
Virginia Military
Uh,
Institute.
Interesting.
Let's see. VMI is. Wait, what'd you say, Jared?
Virginia Military Institute.
That's correct. Nice.
Then he went Memphis.
I'm a
Arkansas
Navy.
State.
I'm a military brat. I know these things. He went to where?
He went to Memphis as a graduate assistant, and then to
Good.
Arkansas State, and he was wide receiver coach and defensive back coach. Then he went to the Bearcats, and then he
Wait.
came to the Buccaneers.
What year was he at Arkansas State?
1997.
In 1998,
And then he went where?
Cincinnati,
Okay.
and then he
then
jumped to the NFL, and he was on the
goes to the
Bucs, the
Bucs.
Vikings, and the Steelers.
And leads one of the best defenses ever with the Bucs. How many? So he won a Super Bowl with the Bucs, didn't he? That means he has a couple rings then.
He has 2.
So all I'm saying is, he's also doing it this year with Big Ben, who is being wheeled out of a geriatric ward each game, and Mason Rudolph, who decent enough to win games. I don't know if he's the future for the Steelers, but he's good enough for right now.
Yeah, I mean it. Tomlin has been one heck of a coach, winning 65% of his games since he's been with the Steelers. He's had a couple of rough patches, some 8-8 seasons, and he's had some struggles in the playoffs. But again, I mean, he's been in the AFC during peak Belichick and Brady years, I would say, from 2007 to 2019, which, some people would say not the peak, but I mean the Patriots kept winning every single year for that entire decade. So
And on top of that, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say we talk about Auburn's coaching situation. If there was ever a time where I'm like, if we can literally throw, if I was a booster and somebody told me if we could throw out the most insane contract ever and give a coach like $200 million, who would you get? I go get Mike Tomlin.
seriously?
Why wouldn't I?
Well, I mean, if you could throw out any sum of money at any coach, that's your number one guy.
Who's better?
Nick Saban.
For NFL?
Nah.
He said Auburn. He said to hire at Auburn.
To
Oh,
hire
I didn't
at
know that.
Auburn. No, I wouldn't get Nick Saban.
I would not go with an NFL
Because Nick
coach.
Saban, look, no matter how we look at it, Nick Saban's not going to be around for much longer in college football. Mike Tomlin's 48 years old.
I would be hesitant to go the NFL to college route. That's why. For
I
anyone.
wouldn't. Because Mike Tomlin is a player's coach, which you need in college football.
Players coach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Isn't it been the opposite with like all the stuff going on with Le'Veon and Antonio Brown?
No,
and
they're problem children. That's the difference.
I don't deny the players that have liked him really like him, but like
I don't think that Le'Veon and their complaint is with him though.
It's not.
I mean, was it not? Oh wait, no, it was contract related both, wasn't it?
Yeah, he doesn't control that. He's more of a defensive-minded coach anyway, so if they had an issue, it wouldn't be with
I
him
mean,
over the offense.
I can't remember
over
who the playing
four,
time is
over
was.
14 years, can we even remember one player that had an issue with Mike Tomlin? Can we even remember one person that had the issue with Mike Tomlin in 14 years? Not really.
I'm thinking.
I'm looking it up.
And the fact that he was able to control a locker room with Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell in it for as long as he did says a lot as well.
That's true. Again, I'm not denying that he's a great
Players
coach.
would run through a brick wall for Tomlin.
Who said that?
The Pittsburgh Steelers, August 3rd, 2020.
No, but who?
That's like from the Steelers. Okay, let me read the thing.
Like
I'd run through a wall
was
for
it,
Mike Tomlin.
Press release by the team or something. That's what I'm asking.
Yes.
Well, to be
Okay.
fair, press releases can be a little bit scathing after the Falcons released one before Dan Quinn got fired, saying the players were behind him.
Yeah, that one was tough. That one was a little tough.
But yeah, no. If I wanted to hire a coach, any coach, to come to Auburn, I'm trying to get Mike Tomlin.
That's interesting.
He's a players coach with a rich NFL history. So recruits would flock to him because he believes that they could use him as a stepping stone to the NFL. He's a players coach, so they're gonna love him. I mean, I see no downsides to Mike Tomlin. Any defensive minded, Auburn, we love defense. I don't know how we fix the offense side of the ball, but we'll have good defenses.
Well, I do have some people that don't like Mike Tomlin.
Ooh,
Some
name
minority
them.
owners of the team wanted to fire him this past year, but Art Rooney signed him. He's like, forget y'all, I'm signing him.
I was about to say, our Rooney don't care about what nobody thinks because the Rooneys have built it.
They wanted
Yeah.
to fire him after a disappointing playoff exit.
Hold up. How can
When they lost to the Jags. Yeah, I remember that.
How can you be like, we want to fire Mike Tomlin, but the Steelers haven't fired a coach since the 60s?
Well, I mean, no. So Jared, that's
At that point, shouldn't you just be like, maybe the Steelers know something we don't, considering they
no,
haven't
but
fired a coach?
Jared, that would be the reason, is what because
That's a stupid reason.
Well, listen to this. Listen to this.
like some teams do hold on to coaches too long.
I don't think the Steelers are that team.
I don't
Listen-
think the Steelers are either, but I mean,
Matt Patricia, I'm looking at you.
but Jared,
Yes,
you also
Davis.
you talk about success and whatnot, right? And they haven't fired a coach since the '60s because they've been good for the majority of that time. Let's go look at, say, Chuck Noll, for example, who was a coach
Yeah.
for 22 years.
And they're still good.
No, I mean, I know, Jared. I'm saying that it's not a crazy idea that they wouldn't want to fire somebody for having a below average season because they've always been good.
No, it is crazy.
It really isn't that
They need to
crazy.
stop sniffing the paint at Home Depot.
Me?
No,
Or they?
them. Maybe you too. I don't know. Davis, what were you saying?
I have a quote from this article about it. It says, Rooney will not be listening to what folks with no actual power of the organization has to say.
He said,
even if
get
they
back
technically
down.
own a piece of it. And Bo Bichette was like, wait, not Bo Bichette. That's a baseball player.
I think he said Boba Fett. I was like, okay.
Yeah, Boba Fett. Ed Bouchette said, if limited partners want Mike Tomlin out, Art Rooney will show them the door. He will kick them out if they try to fire Mike Tomlin. If they want him fired.
Rooney's going to be like, oh, you want to fire Tomlin? Just sell me your share of the team. I'll take it.
Oh, yeah. I'll fire him if you just give me your share back. Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny stuff. Long story short, Mike Tomlin's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's all right, I guess.
Most underrated in the NFL?
Is he underrated?
I feel like he is. Nobody ever talks about him.
Fair. I mean, you don't hear him talk about a lot, but
nobody ever talks about how he has 14 winning seasons straight. Excuse me.
But I feel
actually, by the way, guys, I'm just looking at it. Is that? Oh, it's not 14 winning seasons. It's 14 non-losing seasons technically.
I mean, because I guess
so 8-8.
8-8 is not technically a winning season.
4 times. That's important to remember. I'll say that's a key factor. But again,
close enough. Do you know how many teams would shoot somebody in the middle of 14th Street? That means they could be 8-8.
Washington would.
The Jets.
Yeah, the Jets.
But that's the NFL week in a nutshell. The Patriots play the Jets on Monday Night Football, so God help us.
I need the Jets defense.
Yo, did y'all see Jameis Winston eat a dub?
He did eat a dub.
He broke it out.
I need the Jets defense to give me 15 points.
I have some bad. First of all, why do you have the Jets defense? The first
I don't
question.
have any. My other defense was Denver.
I had to feel like that's better than the Jets.
No, Denver got 2 points and gave 34. Plus, more like I picked the Jets just because I know New England turns the ball over a lot.
That's fair enough. That
Alex,
is fair.
You want the Titans defense?
No, they have the worst third down conversion.
They got 13 points. They got 13 points this week.
Really? Good for them.
It would be good for you if you just trade.
Hey, Davis, do you want Darius Slayton?
No.
Is Slayton not playing good?
He had 1 point. So.
Oh, man, that sucks.
Alex is trying to make all these trades after I offer him. So.
You want Mike Davis again if Christian McCaffrey didn't play?
No. Stop talking to me.
Alex, every time you talk about fantasy, I feel like you're in desperation of something, but I feel like you're doing okay.
He's not in danger of taking the ACT, so I don't know why he's worried.
My number 1 pick tore his ACL in the second week.
Rest in peace, Saquon.
Yes, it was Saquon. And he was already playing bad anyway, man. Because their offensive line is garbage. I'm so...
Should have picked Dalvin Cook.
My saving... Yeah, I know.
I would have traded him Chase Evans for Mike Davis back in the day, but he declined it.
My saving grace
back
is
in my day.
Terry McLaurin. He's my only good player this year.
Imagine your only good player being a Washington football team player.
He's got Lamar Jackson, too, so...
Yeah, Lamar's been buns. He had like 0.6 points in the first half against the Colts.
Yeah, and then the Colts blew it like they usually do.
Yeah, well, he ended with 18.6.
Davis, you win the game? Oh, you're winning your game. Nice.
Yeah, I won. I'm not taking the ACT, bro.
I'm not either. Well, actually, I might. I don't know.
You're not, Alex. Anthony's taking. He's 1-7.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I can't play fantasy football anymore.
It's too stressful.
It's after.
Yeah, it is when you have to take the ACT. Other times it's just like, oh, I'm losing.
After how many weeks do we have?
What are you saying, Jared?
Sorry.
After my first year playing fantasy football, where I lost in the championship, and then going to NBA fantasy, which is weird, and then losing the championship again, and then the following year doing the Weagle Fantasy Football League that we did. And I don't know if you guys were a part of that.
Mm-mm.
Okay, but it was crazy. It was 16 teams. Brent had the first pick, and she picked Cam.
Oh yeah.
The whole league fell apart after that. Let's see, who ended up winning that? I think Javon ended up winning. I remember Jacob and Bay were in there. Me and Carter were in there. Andy was in there. That was. I don't even want to talk about the Andy part. That's too funny. But I can't do fantasy after that anymore. I can't do it. I ended up controlling 3 different teams at the end of the season, and I still couldn't win a championship. Granted, 2 of them were bottom of the barrel, but even my own team, I just couldn't do it.
That's tough.
It is tough. It was a keepers league too, so I could have brought it back this year, but I was like, I don't want to go through that pain. And fantasy football makes you like root against your own team, and I can't do that. That sucks.
I was okay. I was low key okay with the Panthers losing as long as Pat Mahomes got enough points.
Wow.
Like
I didn't want to take the ACT, Alex.
Davis sold his soul for an.
I'm 3-5.
Like there's like a double-edged sword where it's like, you know, it doesn't hurt as much if my team loses now because I'm kind of rooting against them sometimes. So it lessens the blow, but it's also I became what I hate. You know?
That's true.
Fantasy
Look,
football
if it was just a regular fantasy where I didn't have to do anything if I lost and I wasn't at the bottom of the league like I am now, I would be rooting for the Panthers all the way. I wouldn't care. But if I lost this game this week, I would still be in contention for the ACT. But I think I'm clear now.
So neither here nor there. Hey, tonight, who's gonna win the football game? Patriots or Jets?
Let's go Jets! I'm just kidding. I don't know. I think.
All right, my hope is we get like a 3-2 Mississippi State Auburn-esque game, and the Jets defense gets.
Don't you do that? Don't you do that?
I have a chance.
I asked this. Sam Darnold is playing today, right? That is the thing.
I think Joe Flacco's playing actually.
Are you serious?
I'm afraid so.
Hold on, let me look at the injury report.
He will not start. I just looked it up.
He's not. Yeah, okay. Yeah, he's not. He's not starting, but he's not on the injury report either.
It says shoulder.
So is he still kind of like nursing it? He's available, I guess is the word we're going with.
Possibly.
Sam Darnold looks like such a frat boy.
He is a frat boy.
Like he looks like he hasn't grown out of the frat boy stage yet.
Let me. Oh my goodness gracious! I looked at the Patriots injury report and I forgot they had a lot of guys opt out of the season. But man, it is long. Jets. Sam Darnold is doubtful. So I guess he is on there.
That's tough. Oh, gosh.
Okay, but do we see Jarrett Stidham, Auburn's favorite golden child, today?
Possibly.
I mean,
and if we do, will he throw an interception?
Yes. That's a granted. That's a given. If he comes in and interception's being thrown. We should see, like, Daniel Jones has only had, like, 4 games without a turnover. I feel like Jarrett Stidham has none.
Hey, get this. Daniel Jones had 2 games in his career without a turnover. They were both against Washington.
Uh-oh.
Hey, Jarrett Stidham's first touchdown was, I believe it was a pick 6 from the Jets.
No, what? It was that Chiefs touchdown when he came in when Brian Hoyer was playing really awful.
Oh, was it the Chiefs?
Yeah, because he threw that
I thought
touchdown.
it was the Jets.
Everyone was like, oh my gosh, Jared's hot. And then he threw 3 straight interceptions. You're like, oh no.
Poor Stidham. He will never be the same.
Honestly, I feel bad, but then I remember the Tennessee game, and I don't feel bad at all. So, therefore, it's difficult.
I think his chances in New England are probably dwindling.
Like, no AFC East fans feel bad about Brady losing 38-3 last night. I don't feel bad about Stidham.
Oh, no, not at all. I picked the Buccaneers, and I laughed. That's funny. That's funny stuff.
It's
a twist of fate. That's poetic justice.
I don't care at all about Tom Brady. He has the Super Bowl rings. Okay.
By the way, something else that just occurred to me. So you mentioned the Dolphins earlier. So how funny would it be if the Dolphins managed to steal the division from the Bills? Because that would mean that, again, the Colts have still more recently won an AFC East title than the Bills.
Well, it's funny, but I also like the Bills.
Yeah.
The Bills are like, they have a good defense because defense wins championships, and they got the best quarterback in the NFL, Josh Allen.
Their defense actually isn't that good this year, Jared.
Look, they have the best defense in the NFL.
That
And
they're on pace to
have
have one of the worst third down conversion percentages against them in history of the NFL.
okay, but 7-2.
That's not
7-2.
true. That's
Hey,
true.
when the Colts won the Super Bowl, you know what the rushing defense was ranked?
Last.
It was last. Still won the Super Bowl though.
Why didn't the Bears run the football more?
It was the Bears. That Rex Grossman and Devin Hester. That was it.
Yes, Rexy. Yeah, that's right.
That was it. And Prince played at halftime. And then the sheet went up during the halftime show and it looked like something you're not supposed to see on TV.
Oh.
I don't know if you guys remember that part. It was,
Jared, I was 6 years old. Actually, I was 5.
okay, well, watch the Prince halftime show and just look up Prince halftime show controversy for Super Bowl and you'll understand why everybody there was a lot of pearl clutching from the halftime show.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. Yeah, there was egad, you know what I'm saying?
Do you think they grab it like that, or they just like?
It's like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you gotta have the deep breath and everything.
Oh my goodness, what is he doing? Like that?
And then they talk about something about they get into vapors or something like that.
No, that's when they're like fanning themselves.
They do after they faint. You find it yet, Alex?
I thought that was like one of the all-time ones.
Oh, it was a good halftime show because it was raining. It was raining, and then Purple Rain started playing, and people were going, ecstatic.
Oh.
Yeah, now Alex sees it.
That's tough.
It's a tough scene.
That's a tough scene for my dog Prince, man. That's tough.
Wait, I'm trying to find it now.
Just type in Prince halftime show. Go to images on Google and.
No, I typed in Prince Super Bowl halftime show mistake, and it's the first photo.
Mistake.
Man, that's a tough scene. Plus, I know Prince was definitely dropping some of that good music at the halftime shows. I hate for that.
Was it a malfunction? It's the question. Or did he mean to do it?
The question that everybody.
That's funny. That's funny. I'd laugh at that.
I mean, I'm sure people did. I would have laughed.
Yeah, no. The best part was Purple Rain playing while it was raining, and that was a great Super Bowl. That was a great Super Bowl.
Gosh, I'm tired.
I'm tired too. Are we ready to end this?
I'm
yeah,
cool.
I think we got a good showing.
All right. Well, that does do it for the show today. I'm hungry. I think I'm gonna go cook some bacon wrapped steak.
Oh.
Yeah. Ooh, I'm
on there. Put some cheese on there.
I'm high rolling. I'll get some crispy onions and I'll put it on there.
Okay.
I'll be like, you know what I'm saying?
Look, here's something good. If you get a chicken breast, some cheese, some bacon, wrap it, and then you put some cheese.
Like
That's
is that a sandwich or is that not by itself?
No. It's just like you get the chicken breast, and or you could dice the bacon with the cheese and you put it on top, and that is amazing. My dad used to make it all. He still makes it.
Okay.
It is good.
Do you guys have anything to say to me before we leave?
Have a good day, Jared.
Alex?
Oh, what? Have a good day to you too, Jared.
No, it's too late. Nope, doesn't count.
Really? You're not gonna say it? Say the line, Bart. Say the line, Bart.
What line?
Say it.
He's looking at you, Alex.
I actually don't know what you're expecting me to say. I'm sorry.
I thought y'all were my friends or something like that, but I guess it's not a thing.
Ay, caramba. I don't know, man. If you're talking about Bart, that's the only. It's either that or evening sports.
It's not related to The Simpsons at all, but I'm just saying say the line, Bart. Like, say what I want you to say.
I already forgot what we were. What was he supposed to say, Jared?
It's both of you. Both of you are messed up right now.
What were we supposed to say?
Wait, okay, we gotta run back through this because maybe I'll jog my memory. Alex did not say have a nice day.
Oh God.
Okay, you can end the show. Okay.
You're not gonna say it.
I don't know. I have to run through it to try to figure it out. I have to do the puzzle.
You're not gonna say it.
I don't know what you're asking us to say.
You're not gonna say it. I'm hurt. I was gonna go have some bacon wrapped steak, and now I'm hurt. And honestly, I don't know how I'm gonna make it through the day today.
Jared, what did you want us to say?
The question is, I gotta figure out the context to figure out what he wanted us to say.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention, so I'm not gonna remember the context.
If there is one thing I asked you to say related to me, what do you think it's about?
Beautiful, stunning.
I mean, all that's true. Don't get me wrong, but if I'm asking you, hey, do you have anything to say to me? And this is the first time I've ever brought it up this year. What do you think is happening?
Is it your birthday, Jared?
Yes!
Happy birthday, Jared!
It's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. Oh my gosh! Happy birthday, Jared.
I got it first, so
It's tomorrow, November 10th.
Unbelievable.
November 10th, 1995 at 6:13 a.m.
Don't lie.
in
You're
Chesapeake.
November 10th, 1975. Don't lie to the people, Jared.
Jared, I'm putting it in my phone. I'm putting it on my phone right now.
If we were friends on Facebook, it would tell you. But
I don't have
on
Facebook.
November 10th, 1995 at 6:13 a.m. in Chesapeake, Virginia, the world was changed forever. And they said, we done goofed now because we let this dude in. That's all I gotta say. Thank you for watching.
I have it repeat every year. You see that? Every year.
Hey, there we go. There we go.
So thank you for watching. Let's take Extra Point here on WBGL 911 and WBGLFM.com for Alex Houston and Davis Carroll. I'm Jared Dillard, soon to be 25 and an old crippled man, saying thank you for watching. Listen to Extra Point here on WBGL 911 and WBGLFM.com.